I'm Carol Birdsong, Communications Director for Williamson County Schools, and I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. This is a united effort, and we are dependent actually on the news media to help us get this message out for us to be successful. We're here today to talk about how we've been working together, all of us, working together to reduce the number of incidents involving the illegal passing of stopped school buses. And according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, this is not an easy task. So we have a solution that we've been working on that you will see in just a bit. But I'd like to, first of all, introduce some folks who have been instrumental in making this happen. First of all, and I was going to go in alphabetical order, but I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to start to my right and introduce you to our superintendent, Dr. Mike Looney, County Mayor Rogers Anderson, and then we have Chief Deputy Dusty Rhodes with Williamson County Sheriff's Office, Captain Mark Wainwright, who is over the SROs in Williamson County, Brentwood Assistant Chief Tommy Walsh, Franklin Lieutenant David Prather. We have Fairview Assistant Chief Robert Odom, and representing Spring Hill, Lieutenant Justin Whitwell. Nolensville sends their regrets. They aren't here, but they did participate, and we thank them for their participation. On this side, right here, we have two of our video stars, and this is Jonathan Cooey. He's an SRO at Renaissance, and he's representing the Williamson County Sheriff's Department. And then we have Officer Joe LeCates, who is representing the Franklin Department. And I understand that Brentwood's Officer Brian Kirkpatrick is on his way. So when he gets here, Deanna, I hope you will help me get Brian over here. This is Jason Golden. He is our Deputy Superintendent, and he oversees all things operational for Williamson County Schools, and Jeff Fuller, who is our Transportation Director. I know it's a lot of folks, but guess what? It took a lot of folks to put this all together, and I'm not finished yet because there are some more people that need to be recognized, and they are. Mike Fletcher, who is our Safety and Security Director, who is in the back with Nick Vaco, who is our School Safety Coordinator. Chrissy Sloan and Glenda King. They brought the buses over for the folks to do the videos with, and we thank you guys for all you do for our transportation services. And Hannah Bloom, where are you? Hannah's over here. She's with the EMA. Thank you, Hannah. Also, Sharon Puckett with Williamson County Sheriff's Office, Deanna Lambert, City of Franklin. Where's Charlie Warner? City of Brentwood. Sorry. I've jumped to Charlie. Charlie Warner with City of Franklin, Jamie Page, Spring Hill. Did I leave somebody out? Probably so. But I know y'all will tell me in a bit. Anyway, so thanks to everybody. I know that's a lot of names. But it's taken us all to work on this project so that we can keep our children safe on the roads. As we begin, Dr. Looney is going to say a few words. Mayor Anderson is going to say a few words. We're going to show you a video, and then we're going to do some Q&A. So reporters, be thinking of your questions. These folks are ready and willing and able to answer them for you. So, Dr. Looney.
Thank you so much for being here today. The first thing I'd like to say is what an incredible day it is to have all of our law enforcement officials working collaboratively on an important issue such as school bus stops and making sure that our children can get to and from the school bus in their homes in a safe manner. You know, Williamson County transports approximately 20,000 students a day, have hundreds of buses on the roads every single day, and our record is really good. We have very few incidents, but every single day it appears that we have some people that either are not knowledgeable about what the law is as it relates to a stopped school bus with their arm out, or they're ignoring it. And every time that happens, that puts students and families at risk. And so the reason we're assembled here today is we want to make some progress. We want to make some improvement in our community so that when the school bus stops and the lights come on and the arm extends, people stop to make sure that students can get on and off the bus in a safe manner. Our community is great because everybody continuously pulls together for very important topics. This is one of those topics, making sure that our kids can get to school safely. And so we appreciate the public support. This is an ongoing partnership. This issue is not going away. This is not a one-time press conference and we're going to move on to the next issue. We're going to focus on making sure that our students can be transported to school on our school buses in a safe manner. With that being said, none of this would be possible without the continuous support of all of our mayors. The mayors are represented here today by Rogers Anderson, the mayor of Williamson County. Mr. Anderson.
5+ years ago, we were all pulled together for another event to implement our SROs in all of our public schools, not only Williamson County, but in our Franklin special schools. And at that particular time, we focused, we spotlighted a critical care that had been identified and thus the day's operation. So thank you for being here, and to all the different agencies that are involved, and particularly to our law enforcement community that are out on the street on a daily basis. And to those eyes, the drivers of the eyes that are watching for that, and to our citizens, we encourage you to obey the law. We encourage you to drive in a way that would be respectable, that each one of those children could be yours. So thank you for the engagement. Thank you very much for the highlights of what we're about to see today. And again, to all of those men and women that serve in the law enforcement community. Thank you.
Brian is here with Brentwood. I'm going to call you out, Brian, another star of our videos. In the spring of 2018, the state of Tennessee asked school districts to do a one-day count of how many times vehicles passed a stopped school bus, which had its stop arm out and lights flashing. In Williamson County, our school bus drivers recorded 18 incidents countywide in one day. We believe that was 18 too many. Fast forward to October and November of 2018, when we learned of the fatalities or injuries of children in Indiana, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Mississippi who had been struck by a motorist while waiting at the bus stop, trying to get on the bus, or while exiting the school bus. So what's a school district to do? Our solution is to work with our partners in law enforcement to spread the message. And when we reached out to all of these folks, they did not hesitate. They said, we're in, what can we do? So we said, well, it's yellow for a reason. Did you know that yellow is the most visible color of the spectrum? Did you know that the human eye processes yellow first? And this explains why it's used for cautionary signs. And did you know that yellow was adopted as the school bus color in 1939? So that can only mean it's yellow for a reason. Hannah, show our video, please.
Hello, Brentwood.
Hey, Nolensville.
Hey, Franklin.
Hi, Spring Hill.
Hi, Fairview.
Hi, Williamson County.
Have you ever wondered why a school bus is yellow?
In recent months, nationally, there have been a number of crashes at bus stops involving children that have resulted in fatalities.
When you're traveling to and from work and you see a school bus,
Please remember there are children on that school bus. When you see a school bus and you see the stop bar activated, you must come to a complete stop.
there's nothing that you're doing or no place you're going that's more important than the lives inside this bus.
One of the first calls I ever went on, there was a vehicle that was going a little too fast and did not come to a complete stop. An 8-year-old happened to be crossing the street at the time. The kid was hit and killed.
Please be aware, children are unpredictable. Give that bus the time to clear that section and make sure all children are out of the way and safe before you proceed.
Don't take any risks. Please don't tailgate them and don't pass them when they're stopped. You could be putting a child's life at danger.
Too many lives have been lost at bus stops due to people being in a hurry and not paying attention.
So if you do go through the stop bar, we will find you and we will ticket you.
Please use extra caution when you see a school bus on the road.
It's yellow for a reason.
I know, right?
Williamson County Schools and the county's law enforcement agencies want to remind you to be on the lookout for the big yellow bus.
Shout out to Steve Chesser and Parker Morley in the communications department for their work, and a huge thanks to these guys right here and to the others who aren't with us today who participated in our videos. We produced a tailored video message for each of the municipalities and for the county, and those have been given to them for their own use. You in the media will also receive a copy of that for your use as well, and we encourage you, challenge you, ask you to please help us spread the message by using those videos. Now, without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to you guys to ask some questions. Again, we have representation here from all municipalities with the exception of Nolensville, and from the county is here as well. So if you have any questions, please ask and we'll get the appropriate person to the mic to answer them for you.
Can I speak with Jeff with transportation?
Sure, Jeff.
And can everyone just start by saying their name and their title?
I'm Jeff Fuller, Transportation Director of Williamson County.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. So what are we looking at in the county as far as school bus related crashes and kids being hit? I mean, what's Williamson County looking at as far as recent years and this year?
Recent years and this year, we have a very stellar safety record in Williamson County, and that goes in part mainly to Chrissy Sloan and her workforce with our safety team. We review videos daily on any close incidences there may be. Our drivers will contact us when there is a passing of a stopped school bus. We'll notify the authorities, let them know the time and the place. We have had the police departments shadowing our buses on many occasions, looking for those occurrences there and try to prevent that from happening.
How many are we talking?
Ma'am?
How many incidents are we talking
Well, for instance, this past spring, we had 18 incidents in a one-day process. Now you multiply that by 270 days, and that 18 was a fairly good day. There are some areas that it happens almost on a daily basis. Rural areas, I can't be specific. I don't know I can't say the specific roads, but we do hear about it on a daily basis.
As far as crashes go, how many have you guys seen of late?
We've had some hit mirrors on county roads where we'll have like a dump truck passing our school bus. We've had 3 of those this year. We've had a turn where a bus turns in a school zone where a car's parked and the tail swing. We've had that type of incident. Other than that, we're pretty much incident free.
Okay. And did something happen on Friday?
Friday, that was the mirror.
That was the mirror incident. So you're talking a handful.
True. Yes. It's not a daily or weekly occurrence. It's one of those out of the ordinary type situations.
So
when
people
it does.
Passing with the arm down.
That is one of the most consistent issues that we do have, not only in our county, but nationwide.
What can you say that with the arm down? Can you say it as a like a quote, like with the arm down?
Okay, that is not only a problem in Williamson County, but also nationwide.
What made I guess what kicked this off? What made y'all start thinking, hey, we got to do something here? We got to make a video. We've got to make people more aware. What started this?
This has always been a major issue for public transportation, especially with our children. Our number one issue is safely getting our children to and from school. That's our number one priority. Timeliness does come in, but safety is our number one factor. I believe with what happened this past spring, the survey, it started was an eye opener. Hey, this is a major issue. Some counties reported twice, sometimes 3 times as many passings as we've had in Williamson County. And really the central office and the support that I've received, they brought it together and came up with some ideas, and this is part of those ideas that they came up with, and I'm very appreciative of it.
I know you may want to ask Joe. He does shadow some of the buses sometimes. If you want that perspective from a officer's perspective.
Yeah.
So.
Real quick, a couple of years ago, I went to a meeting over in Franklin at the factory. They talked about, I can tell the guy was upset because he says when school starts, there's 36,000 more cars on the road in Williamson County. He said, let them ride the bus.
Yes.
Does that take,
We encourage.
I call them mama haulers, all out there taking their kids to school, daddy haulers, all of them. That just makes for more cars on the road, makes people run late, makes everybody, do you think that might be, I don't know if you guys have thought about that, if that might be part of it?
Yes, we encourage all of our parents to let their children ride the bus. We have a huge fleet. We have the drivers to transport them, and that would be fantastic there. I'm sure that it does cause a lot of issues with those parents out there. Plus, you have your workforce trying to get to work at the same time that we're picking up and delivering our kids.
My son rode the bus for 8 years. He never had a problem on the bus ever.
It's still one of the it is the safest form of transportation for our children. Yes, ma'am.
Can you identify some of the most dangerous corridors where a lot of incidents are happening?
It's very general, but your rural areas, your rural county roads, we've seen a lot of the more extreme cases that could be very catastrophic. The way, especially in the country, in the county where our rolling hills and the roads, we design our bus stops not to be at right below a hill. We have a 0.25 mile walking distance for our children, and we set up those bus stops to where the driver can have the clearest field of view. And sometimes you'll see a speeding car coming over a hill, and it does everything we can do to react to stop that child from getting on the bus or stop those children that are crossing the street in front of the bus to see what's going on, see the car,
I covered something similar to this in Rutherford County, and I know that a lot of the officers were doing extra education for the students. It's kind of sad that we have to put the burden on the children now, but is that something that you guys are doing in this curriculum?
Our drivers are actually doing that. Our drivers every year, start of the school year, they go over the rules of the bus with the students. We have handouts that we send out with the kids and to their parents. Rules of the bus, the safety rules on boarding and offloading our students, so they all know what to look for. If they're crossing in front of the bus, cross the street, they know to go 10 feet in front of the bus, come to the corner of the bus, look at the driver, and the driver will clear them to proceed on. So, our drivers are constantly training our kids and retraining them.
I might be interested if any of the law enforcement representatives, if you guys are doing anything new or different, if you're planning on upping enforcement in any way, I think we'd all love to hear what the specific plan is for your jurisdiction, if you have one.
Good morning. I'm Dusty Rose, Chief Deputy at the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. At the Sheriff's Office, we act on these complaints. Most of the complaints we get are from the citizenry. I had a lady just back before Christmas talk to me about a situation on Ghosty Hill Road. And, when we get these complaints, we're acting on them. If I have to have a patrol car follow a bus, if we can set up, if we can get a specific location where this lady had, we can sit in her driveway and we can enforce those laws out there on that. And, like I said, all we got to do is get the complaints, and we're going to be on it.
What happened out there, sir? What did she tell?
Well, she was complaining there. It was every morning. She had two children, one that I think got on the bus, I think at 6:30 and one at 7:30. And invariably, there's a car passing the bus with the arms out. And we have been out there, of course, you know, it's when you're out there and it marks you, and hopefully you get the message across to slow down and not pass, but we need to try to catch some of these people too to make believers out of them.
Nobody was hurt or anything, right?
No, we haven't come across that. Thank you.
I think it would be interesting to hear from Joe and Brian, who actually do this on a daily basis. So I don't know if y'all want to come up together individually. You want them individually. So whoever wants to go first. I mean, alphabetically, Brentwood is first. So there we go. All right.
Hi, I'm Officer Kirkpatrick of the Brentwood Police Department. I'm a part of our traffic team, and I'm one of the guys that goes out and does enforcement on complaints like this. Any questions?
What's on a day? What do you normally see on a day? I mean, do you observe a lot of it?
Well, what we typically see on a day, it just depends on the complaints we get. Like the sheriff said that sometimes we receive complaints in specific areas, and then what we'll do is go try and address those issues and those problems, and if we can catch a violator, if we have a description of vehicles, then we can be out on the lookout for that particular vehicle. But we do have a selective enforcement schedule that we go by, and we go through school zones that we try to do enforcement in to, correct any kind of problems. And then some of the subdivisions where we receive complaints, we try to go through there to see if we can address any kind of issues that may be going on with as it relates to school bus problems.
And most of those, I guess, are from parents or citizens that have witnessed it, I'm sure.
Yes, often when we receive complaints, they come from citizens, be it parents, be it people driving through the subdivisions on the way to work. A lot of those complaints we receive, that's where we get them from the citizens.
Would you have any advice, I guess, for people out there that see people run the bars down?
Yeah, if you're out and you're on your way to work, and you see something happen, you see somebody violating the law and they're putting children at risk, the best thing to do is call us. Let us know. Give us time frames, give us descriptions, and we'll do our best to come and address it. We're not perfect, we can't catch everybody, but we'll do our best to come out and try and address any kind of problem we have. And we definitely do our best to try and make the streets safe and these stops safe for the kids getting on and off the buses.
In 2018, do you have an idea how many people were ticketed for running a school bus?
In 2018, I know we had several complaints that came in, but off the top of my head, I can't give you a number of citations we wrote for that. That would take a little bit of research.
Why is this so important?
Well, the reason we're doing notifications like this, the reason we're trying to educate the public on bus safety is because it involves children, it involves their lives, and we care about the safety of kids, and we care about the safety of people, and we don't want anybody hurt, and we just don't want any of the kids getting hurt, what it boils down to.
Good morning. I'm Officer Joe Lacates with the Franklin Police Department. The city of Franklin, we actually became proactive on this issue just prior to shooting the video. And I guess the most important part you need to know is this is actually a collective effort. It's not just us. It's not just Brentwood. It's not just the Sheriff's Department. Like he said, it's the citizenry. We need those people to call in and let us know. It's the technology age. Use your cell phone. Take a video. Take a picture. I have a couple of moms right now that have my personal cell phone number, and I get videos on a daily basis. But we have also been working on developed relationships with Chrissy over at the County Bus Garage, David Skurlock over at Franklin Special Schools. If I get a parental complaint, if I get a bus driver's complaint, which we also get those as well, I can call either one of them and say, hey, I need the route for such and such a bus number, and they will send it to me. We used unmarked patrol vehicles to actually chase these buses. And it has worked quite well until the kids on the bus realize that there's a cop behind them, and it kind of spoils the whole thing. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
When you are able to talk to these drivers or violators and ticket them, what do they say to you?
Unfortunately, they compound the problem by stating that they weren't paying attention. Now, how you could, like Carol said, how you can miss a big yellow school bus with a flashing stop sign is beyond me. I can say that personally I've cited 2 people so far. In both cases, neither one of them was paying attention to what they were doing. That was their exact statement at the time. But the other prong of this that we have to consider too, we need to consider what the courts are going to do with these as well, and see exactly what kind of punishment they're going to mete out based on the citation. Because this is an 8-point violation on your driver's license. You get a letter from the state of Tennessee after 12. So you get that one and you're found guilty, you don't have much room for error after that.
Say they're not paying attention, are they on the cell phone, they're texting or what?
Daydreaming? Honestly, on the 2 that I had, there was no technological devices involved. They just were in the morning fog. And most of the problems that we are having do occur in the morning when rush hour is heavier. The problems seem to be compounded when we have Power Mondays, when you have teenagers that are driving to school. So it's a collective effort. We need everybody's help. It's not just us as an individual department or an individual officer. We have to do all this together.
I noticed, this is probably not so much here, but when I'm going down a 4-lane road with a turn in the middle and a bus stops on the other side, I notice the traffic just keeps right on going on the right side. And I always stop, and people honk their horn at me. But if it's 4-lane or 5-lane, it doesn't matter. If the bus stops and pulls out his arm, you still have to stop, right?
As long as there is not a permanent divider between the lanes. And this is another problem. We need to educate the public because a lot of times they don't know what the law is. As long as if there's not a permanent divider, if it's paved left to right, like you're saying, let's take, say, Hillsborough Road in front of Franklin High School. That's 4 lanes with the breakdown lane, like you point out. When the bus stops and the bar is extended, everybody has to stop.
What kind of fine are we talking about for a violation like that?
You know, I had, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I honestly don't know. 139, yeah. So it's expensive. But what it will do to your insurance if you're found guilty will be even more expensive because your insurance agent will not be happy when you get that citation.
Is that fine the same for all municipalities? No, it's different?
You know, and I know in the Williamson schools, having a driver, a 17-year-old at Williamson County, they have to take the driver safety class to be able to park there in the parking lot and drive to school. Do you think maybe, that we might want to, I went with you on the first one, and it would have been great if there were, been an officer there explaining a lot of these rules with school buses and stuff like that, things you're supposed to do from school mornings, you know?
Well, a lot of the things that we're combating right now are not taught in driver's education. You're taught the basics like, right on red and, and yellow means slow down, not below the stop sign. But a lot of these things like the cell phones, we still have kids that are on cell phones when they're driving. Apparently it's not taught in driver's ed. The school bus thing is not taught in driver's ed. So we're back to education, which is where it comes to you guys. You guys can put something on the news, at 5, 6, and 10, and hopefully somebody will see it and post it to Facebook, and social media actually is quite helpful where this is concerned. Is that it?
Would you spell your name?
Yes, ma'am. Joe. L-E, capital C-A-T-E-S.
Any other questions for anyone? Okay, good. All right. Thank you guys so much again for being here and helping us spread this message. We cannot do it without you.